Hi Aries, welcome to your November 2020 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book your personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what the month of November 2020 has in store for us. I'm hoping and praying that it's going to be a much easier month for all of us as we start to get into the end of the year, as they say, and things start to wrap and wind up. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large, you have the Nine of Swords. This could be a month where you are still feeling the last dregs of that anxiety. Now, interestingly enough, your ruler Mars is currently in your sign and it is retrograde right up until the 13th of this month. So it's probably not going to be until the 15th, like literally the middle of the month, where you really start to feel, okay, you know what? I'm getting my energy back. I'm getting my mojo back. And more importantly, you know, retrogrades don't rob us of anything. They actually provide opportunities for us to readdress an imbalance or something that is not where it could or should be, so to speak. This Nine of Swords, though, it kind of suggests that this month you might still be feeling a little bit fractious, and that may come across. So how you're interacting with people, you want to think about the way that you're saying what you're saying. You want to think about the way that you're coming across to people. That Nine of Swords as well, this could be about you. It could be about you examining something and asking yourself, have I done enough? And the Nine of Swords can sometimes see us hyping something up in our minds. You know, it's not always. Stress, anxiety, fear, all of those things are very real, but sometimes the amount of those things that we that we experience sometimes can come from within. They can come from what we are placing on ourselves. Now, this isn't to say that you're being a drama queen. It's just saying that maybe, just maybe, that mountain that you're looking at is a little bit more of a molehill than you think. So this is a month just to think about what you're saying and to temper what you say, just to think about how it comes across. For your money and materials, this month you have the Temperance card, right? So this is great. Finances this month are going to regulate, and look at this, you've got it right next to the Nine of Swords, which suggests that there may be some mini crisis when it comes to the money this month. It may be that something happens and you think to yourself, oh, am I going to be able to cover this? Am I going to be able to do this? I actually think that your finances this month are going to regulate. I think financially you're probably going to start to move towards where you would actually like to be this month, or certainly come into the understanding of what it is that you can do on a personal level to make that the case, to make that so. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this could be a month where you're addressing your sleeping pattern. It could be a month where a lot of you might be starting some new sort of workout regime. It looks like you're starting a health kick, and if I'm completely honest, because it comes next to the Nine of Swords, it looks like you might have a mini moment. So something could happen this month that kind of maybe scares you a little, or puts the fear of God in you and makes you say, right, okay, you know what, I'm gonna, excuse the term, I'm gonna make more of a concerted effort to look after my health from now on. So this is, that's why I say, like, that Nine of Swords, sometimes it has a tendency, we see it bigger than it actually is. It's like your mind does that thing so that it can keep you safe, right? It magnifies everything. So it's like, rather than like, oh, this could potentially be dangerous, we see it and feel it as like, oh my God, the world is gonna end, right? And it's like a spider that's this big. Do you know what I mean? But this month there could be some sort of health stuff that arises. And now, like I said, because it's the Temperance card, and I see this card as a very healing energy, but it is next to your Nine of Swords, which suggests that whatever comes up is gonna make you stop and go, ooh, okay, you know what, maybe I need to get more of a handle on this than I've had up until now. For your physical home and environment, this could be a lot of you are either gearing up for a move, or there is going to be some big change to the home, i.e. somebody moving in with you, you know, maybe somebody's moving out. There's definitely a change on the horizon when it comes to the home front, and we've been seeing this in the weekly readings for Aries, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the comments. For your communications and conversations, you have the Two of Swords, so 2 swords cards already out of, you know, we're 3 for 2 right now. So this month, when it comes to communications, you could be finding that this is a month where, again, and this is why I said to you earlier, right, I feel like it's because you're still feeling quite fractious or quite nervous, and so the way that you come across or the way that you say things might be misconstrued or misunderstood this month. Now remember, for the first 2 weeks of the month, we still have a Mercury retrograde. Well, we have a Mercury retrograde until the 3rd of November, and then that will be going direct, but it will still be in shadow. And then on top of that, you've still got your ruler Mars in your sign, which is going to be in retrograde right up until the 13th. So let's say this first 2 weeks of the month, we're still going to be feeling that. And you know, it might be as well that somebody says something to you or behaves in a certain way that makes you think, no, hang on a sec, I think you're imposing on my freedom, or maybe something that they're saying challenges some part of your personal belief structure in a really, you know, in a way that feels very personal. You know, sometimes we can have a debate, right? And that's really good. It's really healthy to be able to question everything and to talk about what you know, what you believe and why you believe it. But sometimes, you know, you get that person that will say something and it feels like a direct attack rather than, you know, like, oh, you know, let's open this up for debate or discussion. It feels more personal than that, and you might take it as more personal than that this month, but also they might take your reaction or your response as you know, equally kind of there could be some crossed wires this month. Remember, the Two of Swords, very similar energy to an opposition in astrology, and the way that you get past an opposition is finding a way to balance things out. You've got 2 cards here that are asking you to find a balance. You've got the Temperance card, which is all about balance, moderation. You know, the process of alchemy is knowing what to add and when. And then you've got the Two of Swords here in your communication. So, you know, what you say and how you say it and the tone that you use this month could be everything. So just keep that in mind when things come up. For your love and relations, you show up as yourself, right? So this is beautiful because it suggests that when it comes to your relationships this month, you are presenting yourself. It's like, come as you are. I always sing that. It's like that same line whenever that phrase, that turn of phrase comes up. So when it comes to your relationships, you are in. It's not even so much that you're in your integrity. You're just being your authentic self. So what you love, who you love, how you love. This month, you're just presenting that, but in a really pure way. For those of you that are single, this could be, maybe this month you're either connecting with somebody that is another fire sign, or you could be finding that and for those of you that are partnered or in relationships, you could be finding this month that it feels like you and your partner are in competition and you can't quite figure out why, you know, like almost like there's a little bit of one-upmanship, or, you know, there's a little bit of, well, you know, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to do this. Like it could be a bit tenuous this month. So just be careful of that energy. All right. So let's have a look at your weeks of the month. Let's break it down there. Sorry, I'm feeling rather theatrical today. Can you tell? For your first week of the month, you have the Hanged Man underneath the Nine of Swords, right? So this really, I mean, this first week of the month, you could still be really in it. You could very much be in your feelings, in your thoughts. You could be feeling a bit exposed this month as well, kind of like all of your vulnerabilities and fears and all the rest of it are kind of written on your forehead. And remember, when you feel like that, it's really easy to be in that energy of, you know what, everything and everyone is against me. This could be a month where a week of the month where you're feeling either a little bit more sensitive than is normal for an Aries, right? Because it's not your trademark, but equally you could be you could be hyping it up a little bit, you know, and this is why I say don't let your mind fool you this month, you know, especially here in this first week of the month. For your second week of the month, you have the Star card underneath the Temperance card. That's absolutely beautiful. So there is help, there is assistance when it comes to the finances this month. But what I will say to you is, because it's the Star card and the Temperance card, the chances are this is going to be something that you either have to work, you know, you'll have to work for this assistance or this help that's coming in, or it will come, but it will be something that you're required to do something at a later date. So this month, if you are accepting any help or assistance, do expect to have to give something at a later date. And my advice to you for anything in any of those situations is find out what it is that you're going to be expected to give now, before that moment comes and someone says, oh, by the way, you know, I'm cashing in that favor and I expect ... Just something to be aware of. Now, for on top of that, when it comes to your money or your finances, especially when it came to the thing about moving this month, I feel like a lot of you could be figuring out, right, you know what, I'm pretty much aware of where it is that I'm going. Some of you could be literally changing countries. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be happening specifically this month, but this could be the month where you are making that final decision. For your third week of the month, you have the Strength card underneath the Two of Swords. So this is great because it suggests that a lot of what you're saying, a lot of what you're trying to deliver to people is about you trying to own who you are. It's about you trying to really live in your strength, to stay in your power. It's about you having the courage to speak your mind. And, you know, usually Aries is quite forceful with their opinions. You guys know I love you. My mum's an Aries, but I'm just going to be real with you, right? Usually you guys are quite forceful with your opinions, whereas this month I actually feel like you're coming from a place of true honesty, openness, authenticity, vulnerability as well. And I think because you are feeling that sort of open and exposed sort of energy, I think it's going to be very, very easy for you to kind of take everything to heart, and you'd be like, oh, well, you know, that feels like a direct attack on me. And it's not, it's just people pointing things out to you. So if you hear some home truths this month, sit with them before you respond to them. All right, that's probably going to be the best use of this energy for you. This third week of the month as well could be, you know, it could be a really interesting time for you for sure. But just remember, you know, if you're communicating from your place of truth and authenticity, it doesn't matter what anybody says to you or whether they agree with you or not, because you know where you're coming from. And that's very, very important. But it's also important that you take time to listen and to take on board what somebody else is saying to you. For your fourth week of the month, you have the Judgment card right underneath the King of Wands. So this, I mean, very often I see this as that blast from the past card energy. I see this as somebody coming back from the past, especially when it's linked to a court card. So this could be a fire sign person coming back into your life, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, or maybe just somebody that has a lot of the traits of the King of Wands, right? So fun, vibrant, feisty, somebody that says what they think, and you know, somebody that means what they say, but also somebody that can be quite childish when they're ready. You know, this could be somebody that wants everything their own way, or sometimes doesn't necessarily think about other people in the details. They kind of think very broad picture. With the Judgment card here, I think this could be somebody coming back into the fold this month, especially here in this fourth week of the month. This could be where you are reconnecting with somebody from your past. For those of you that are partnered, this could be you guys either settling an old issue or argument, or maybe this could be the month, you know, this could be where this one-upmanship, like at first it will probably just seem like this is just us playing around with each other, and then maybe at one point it gets quite serious and you think, no, we need to squash this now. And more importantly, we need to find out where it's coming from within us, right? We need to think as a unit and ask ourselves, where is this issue arising from? And it could be that somebody from one of your pasts, or maybe your collective past, is coming back in. This could be a friend, it could be an ex-partner, it could just be somebody that kind of maybe not threatens the relationship, but kind of takes one of you, you know, maybe makes one of you regress a little bit, and you know, the other one's like, you know, who the are you right now? Like, who are you right now? You know, just something to be aware of this month. So for your key to the month, what is the overarching energy or theme that is underlying all of this? You have the Three of Swords, right? So this is really interesting. Given everything that's come up, this could be a month where you really make some big advancement for yourself. This could be a month where you really let go a lot of your past, a lot of your baggage, maybe some old thoughts, some old belief, maybe some old connection or tie. This month you could really be going a long way to letting something go. And remember, the Three of Swords is very often something that it does hurt to let go or to have released from our lives, but it is ultimately for the better. So it's really interesting that you get this. I think this is going to be quite an intriguing month for you guys, and it can certainly be a month where you can get ahead. It's just going to require you to understand what it is that you are truly ready or needing to let go or to release. So with that said, I hope this helps you in some way, shape or form. I hope you've enjoyed it and it resonates. With that said, as always, you know I love you. Have an amazing month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.